All right, it appears as though my chat is working again, so I'm gonna go through that one more time. Hermes, stop licking my face, please. You goofball. All right, so we've got this Ace of Swords here, which I marked off on the daily here, roughly, when we had this spike to a high. I have Ace of Swords here. You could probably say it's here, actually. In any case, the Ace of Swords indicates, and we also have this unicursal near the low, indicating that the next major drop, we should break down through this price level, especially when you go higher from the unicursal. That's what it indicates. So my sense is that there's quite a few things indicating a drop over the weekend, and then a big move from the bottom of a range to the top of a range. We probably have a high in here before noontime as well, and my sense is that we probably go back. Actually, there might be a high here. We actually go back to that Ace of Swords price level. That's generally what you see when you see the Ace of Swords, right? And it's on a 1 month, so the scale of that will be like a decline and then a return to it either here on the 29th or on the 30th. So I've positioned myself in such a way that I'll be able to adjust my positions. Like right now, I'm mostly short. There is, like I said, a chance that we do go higher from here because it's a bullish card into the close. But the Knight of Cups does indicate kind of like a decline and then a move out of the decline. And the fact that this trade opportunity was here rather than at the close, there's a couple of reasons why I think that is. But even if I'm wrong, I think there's pretty strongly there's a decline over the weekend. So what I'll do Monday morning, that actually looks like another tricky day, but at the low, most likely Monday morning at the low, what I'll do is buy back my short calls and sell against puts, or just close my puts. We go higher after that until the 3rd. So I'm taking a little bit of a little bit of a loss right now. It's still a gain, but I've shaved off quite a bit of my profits. But that generally happens every time I purchase new positions, because I do it so early. It goes down a little bit before it goes up. And I left myself with a call, like a long call that's not capped off, just in case I'm dead ass wrong. It won't hurt as much, right? If I'm right, this call will bleed some money away, but by the 17th, I'll have an opportunity to make a profit off of it. So it's kind of like hedging against a couple of situations. Hey, the Terror Trading Master Guru. Cool name, dude. Yeah, they're going pretty darn well, gotta say. How's things going for you? Hey, Yang Finn. So SPY I'm pretty bullish on next week. But I think there's a sharp drop here over the weekend or at the beginning of the day. There's a sharp drop in here before the end of the day on the 29th. There's a sharp drop. That's what I'm looking for. And then I'll be mostly bullish. It's going to be kind of mixed, but I'll be mostly bullish until like the beginning of the day on the 2nd, most likely. And if I'm wrong and we don't have a drop, here on the 2nd, 3rd is where I would exit out of those puts and still be able to probably take a gain on them. So that's kind of why I have the expiration for the puts out here on the 10th. As far as, so a drop at the close, there's probably a pop at the close for the SPY. But if that's the case, it'll be out of a decline. Interesting. You see this? Knight of Cups and completion. Knight of Cups and completion. It's almost like it's telling us about something going on here. But with that said, this telling us about the stuff in the prior day does leave some room for a bit of a decline. It's this is one of those places where we're kind of like in no man's territory. It could go either way, but my sense is that I'm betting on a near term decline and a long term climb. NVDA. Man, I missed that low too. Yeah, see, there's that big move that I was talking about starting out of a trough. I just thought it was going to be a little bit lower, but there's that big move. Um, the it looks like there's a halting of that trend with a decline through key support on Monday. Does it start here at the end of the day? Hard to say. Other thing I want to point out, we have this correlation to the Ace of Swords here at the beginning of the day in connection to the high. We have a correlation to the Ace of Swords here. We have a correlation to the Ace of Swords here, right? We have 1, 2, 3. Another indication, I think, that we probably have already seen this peak, actually. So my sense is we probably go lower here into the close. But it's not like I'm like 75%. So there's still some doubt there. Hey, AV. Amazon? Amazon's coming out tonight, by the way, the May reading. A lot of them are coming out tonight. I only have 2 left to record. And then I'm going to hustle so that I get the June stuff out before midway through the month of June. I hope, like, probably the end of the first week, hopefully I've got all the June stuff done. Amazon for next week. Hermes, you make it so hard for me to shuffle when you sit in my lap like this. Okay then. He's out. Yeah, I would say we're gonna have a good move to the downside either over the weekend for Amazon or throughout the day on the 29th. Decline continues into the 30th, and then there's this big move to a peak out of the decline. So there's a decline in the beginning of the day here on the first, with a big move from the bottom of the range to the top of the range, and then multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance here. A peak towards the end of the beginning of the day on the third, and then a really big move to the downside starting from that peak and taking us into lows in the following week. Probably the reason why I'm having difficulty determining overall direction is because we're going to go sideways into the close. Matter of factly, that's probably why. It's sideways or down. Hey, Conrad. Um, Probably, yeah. Go long on Monday into the third. Actually, I don't know if I would wait until the third. It looks like you could, but it's not. It's a little risky to wait that long. So let me take a look. I started doing this new thing, guys, where I give you the link to the chart that I'm using, the TradingView chart that I'm using. It's a private link. I give you the link in the paid version of the monthly readings now. And that, speaking of deals here, this is the coupon code you can only get here on the live. The offer expires at the end of the month. This gets you 50% off of custom monthlies. That's a 500% discount, or $500 discount, 50% discount. So custom 50982. And where you order those is you go to our website, Terra for Traders, hover over our services, click on ESO Meta Posts, scroll down to the bottom, custom monthly reading, click here to order. You can order as early as July 2024 and as far out as December 2026. The best way to use to do this, guys, is to identify the months in the 1 years that you're following. Identify the months where you see yourself wanting to enter and exit, and then you get the monthlies for those, provided you can afford it. Get the monthlies for those, because the monthlies will allow you to identify where to, in those, like on a daily basis in those months, to enter into and exit out of that bigger trade, if that makes sense. Again, offer expires end of the month. I'm gonna be so annoyed if we go higher here, because there is a possibility. The last card here is to the upside, especially if these guys are talking about next week. But I find it very sidewaysy. I knew it was going to be a tricky day because I was going to want to go short right off the bat, and it was going to be very sidewaysy. So if we have a sharp drop over the weekend, then yeah, I would open up a partial long there. And the only reason being is that the low is an opportunity to open up long position, and this is indicating a low here at the open. I think the high is probably before noontime as well. I'd probably add some here in the morning on the 30th. Uh, Definitely at the end of the day, I would add some. Five two. So this could be where we return back. It's possible. I think we return back to the Ace of Swords probably somewhere in the beginning of the week. But if not, there we might be returning back to it on the second. I'd probably get out on the second at the end at this Ace of Swords or at the end of the day. Hey, Robert Lolius, did you? Is that Robert Lalitz, or is that somebody with a very similar last name? Like, did you make a new account, or is it somebody new? Very interesting. Um, XRP. Not my best reading. Definitely not my best reading. We did have a high here on the first. We had a high here around, what is that? I have it for the 7th, ended up being the 9th. Sharp drop here on the 13th to a trough. Interesting, I have a prominent peak and a prominent trough there. That's actually pretty solid. And then we came back down to these lows just about here on the 20th, or on the 19th. I have it for the 20th. Sharp drop off of the opportunity around the 22nd, 23rd. And you can see how that took place. That's like unicursal in action. Pretty big move. We should see a pretty big move here at the end of the day today to the upside. Hey, it was Yeah, we probably have a pretty big move here at the end of the day, taking us to like. Yeah, we come back to this price level here very, very shortly. Looks like this price level here is going to act as resistance. Um, on the 27th, and then we probably break through it on the 28th. It's possible, 28th, 29th, but there's also a pretty sharp drop there on the 29th. Nvidia next week. Oh, it was like, so can you, this sounds funny. Can you actually discontinue your YouTube subscription for me so that it doesn't renew? Because I want to change all the pricing, and if it renews, it actually, YouTube will charge me 150. So if you could do that, and then I'm going to change the pricing. I'm going to drop the pricing as I thought about doing before retrograde. I decided to do it, so we're going to reduce the pricing. But in order to do that, it was like, I need you to discontinue your subscription. Matter of fact, you don't necessarily have to do that. Yeah, actually, scratch that. It was like, you don't have to do that. I have a better way to go about this. All right, so Nvidia next week. It was like, so you ask about Nvidia a lot. Just an FYI, if you were to purchase the monthly, I would have a much better idea about the information that you're asking for. Yeah, I actually already went through Nvidia, so there's a halting of this trend here on Monday. And then I don't have a reading for Nvidia in May. Basically flying blind after April. So it looks like the rally ends on Monday, declines. We established support on Tuesday. Pop and drop on Wednesday, rally on Friday that ends with a decline, and then we have like this attempt to break through whatever we rallied into on Thursday. On Friday we have this attempt to break through it. We fail and we decline.
Can you give guidance on Riot in Q2 and Q3?
Do I have anything on Riot? I forget. I started daydreaming, sorry, but no, there's no Riot. Alright, so... the remainder of Q2 for Riot looks like yes. Sorry. Yeah, so it looks like we declined from these levels, but by the end of Q2 we have a like the end of the decline marked with a big, like this type of move ending the decline. And then Q3 Ace of Swords. Yeah, that's about as much as I can give you without doing a reading. A Biden 2024. I see the name. One of my rules is not to get political, so let's leave it at that, my friend. Just a name, please. I'm not a fan of politics at all. It's toxic stuff. What's Bitcoin about to do? Hey, Robert. Yeah, check it out. There's a Look at this. There's a guy, Robert Loleis, as well. So close. I thought maybe you made a second account because it was so close. There can only be one. What happened to the chart? Um, so this is like, this is cruelty resistance right here, roughly. And we should see a trough form tomorrow. God, these freaking allergies. It's pretty mixed. There's a trough tomorrow. There's a peak on the 28th towards the end of the day, and then a pretty sharp drop off of that peak into a trough on the 29th. There's a speaker on the 29th. Whatever they're talking about can be relied upon, and we end up rallying into a peak probably by the end of the day on the 29th. Then we do sideways rotation and a sharp drop within that period of sideways rotation on the 30th. I don't think we're going to go as low as this 59-ish, but probably somewhere in here. Well, let me see. Actually, something like that. We'll go from here, or we'll go from here to here to here to here. Something along those lines, my friend.
Not really. No, none of those commodities. It was luck. Not really. Hey B, how does PLTR look for the next week's stock direction? You're welcome. Biden 2024. So it looks like there's a brief peak in PLTR next week, followed by a decline through multiple support levels. I can't wait to not have to deal with this pattern day trading rule anymore. I'm at 3-day trades again. So I'm doing all this fancy maneuvering. It's so annoying. I wish I could just make a clean, easy, simple trade. But no, I can't. Because they're protecting me. Such a load of BS. Guys, you know, when people are like, oh, the market is rigged, the market is rigged, I really don't think the numbers are rigged. Not really. I mean, to a certain extent. But what's really rigged are things like the laws that prevent you from trading the same way that everybody with all the money trades. Like they basically, the guys that can day trade, literally sit there and wait for the morning for like all of the people that couldn't get out of the market and are stuck in positions they wish they weren't stuck in. They just wait for that to happen and then they collect. That's pretty much rigged if you ask me. Will Link and Sol have lower lows in May than they did in April? What was I doing? I started daydreaming again. My gosh. Lincoln Soul, right? What just happened? Okay. I don't think there's a lower low in May. I think this was one of the major lows right here. Probably come back to something near highs in May. That's a little tough. I think we probably see a similar low in Seoul in May. Hey, Janish Radia. Avalanche going higher next week? What the heck? All right, so that's pretty risky. It's probably going higher into the end of the month, but there's a lowest low in early May. Pretty sharp drop in early May to a lowest low. So I would be very, very careful. You're better off being on the short side in case there isn't much move to the upside left before that decline, right? Because we already had this, right? It's possible, but so we might have a little bit more before a decline, or we just got decline. One of those two. Yeah, it's pretty mixed. We're gonna decline from a resistance and then probably return back to it on like a multi-day scale. Hey Kenny 811216. It looks like May, Kenny. It'll hit the lowest low in May. It could be on the cusp of May, June. It's possible, but there's a high in June, July. So you want to be careful not to like miss out on the reversal there. You're welcome. Which quarter this year will CVS have its highest highs? Well, for your question, you need to add in Q1. Otherwise, the question should be which of these 3 quarters, rather than which quarter this year. Does that make sense? You gotta be very careful about how you ask questions because the answers can be very, very dramatically different based on what words were used. Looks like Q3 and Q2, there's probably a pretty good opportunity to buy in the midst of a decline before this big move to the upside in Q3 that probably continues into Q4 but is halted in Q4 with a sharp decline. That was CVS. Hey, M. Ali Butt, welcome. How's SHIB for next week? SHIB is one of the ones I still have not got to yet as far as the monthly. I get those two, SHIB and Google, get done like probably tomorrow or Sunday at the latest. But we can still take a look real quick, see what we got for the next couple of days. Oh, wait a second. Oh no, I didn't record it. Yeah, as I thought. And I'm going to cap the questions off there, my friends. Didn't have a lowest low there. Is that the 13th? We had a lowest low on that death card. Not my best work. Definitely not my best work. But there should be a pretty big decline here. I guess technically you could say that was, but 23rd, 24th. Pop and then a drop. Multiple failed attempts. Pretty big move to the upside here on the 27th, especially the end of the day on the 27th. That might actually take us. It'll take us to like a really notable high. It might not be a highest high, but it'll be. Matter of fact, it could be. We're not that far away. No. Not a highest high. And look, see, be careful because like this is, I put this here and we didn't meet it, right? So you have to be careful. I'm not always right about these. I'm right a decent amount of the time. But you don't want to trade price levels. You want to trade sequence of chart events and timing. Oh, that's too high, sorry. Something like that. And then as far as the beginning of the following month, got to get that reading done before I can really answer that. It was luck. You know how I feel about when I say I'm capping questions and then people ask more questions. Overall, to the downside for Microsoft next week, it looks like there might be a little bit of a move to the upside first. We established support on Monday, rally on Tuesday, notable decline on Wednesday, into a trough on Thursday that we have a big move out of. And then we decline again into Friday, but another big move from the bottom of a range to the top of a range. All right, my friends. With that said, I'm going to roll. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been a really great week. Shaved off a little bit of my gains here. Not too bad. Just about $300 of my gains for the day. Positioning myself for next week. But I feel pretty good about where I'm at. And if I'm dead ass wrong, I have this one call that's not covered that'll dampen the blow. If I'm right, this call isn't going to cause a loss. It's going to decline, but then return to a gain a little bit later down the road. Coupon code custom 50982, 50% off all custom monthlies. This offer expires on the first of the month, or the last day of the month, I should say. With that said, make sure to follow that rule of karma. You do so here on the resources tab, guys. If you don't know, we have a new tab in our resources for donations. The crypto tab. If you click on that, it brings up all of these different wallet QR codes for different types of crypto. Great way to give back, especially if you're international. That's the way to do it. Guys, I'm gonna ban you if you start talking about politics in my channel. I'm gonna warn you once. Do not bring up politics in my channel. I don't care if it's in your favor or against. Do it again and you're banned. End of story. Hopefully I made myself clear, guys. I do not tolerate politics in my chat at all. Just having it in your name